Now I get that some power sports enthusiasts like to label themselves like, I'm an off-road motorcycle guy, or I'm a sport bike guy, or whatever. But no matter what kind of guy or girl you are, you'll want to put the Harley-Davidson Museum on your bucket list. And here's just a small sample of why.
Hi, I'm Jim Fricke. I'm the curatorial director at the Harley-Davidson Museum, and I'm honored to welcome you here this morning. So the company started in 1903. Interestingly enough, for your visit, the museum opened 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago yesterday. So the company's celebrating its 110th anniversary, and we're celebrating our 5th. And you know, I think one of the truly unique things about the motor company, you know, we had, it was started by a couple guys who just wanted to make a motorcycle. They had no idea there would be something like this 110 years later, but they had an incredible sense of the history. So, you know, the core of the collection here are all of these vehicles, which as a motorcycle person, you can appreciate how unusual it is to have an original paint vehicle from, you know, 09 or 11. And the reason we have all these things is the founders had the foresight to begin archiving things as early. Well, they saved bikes, you know, from the beginning, but not systematically. But in 1915, they started saving motorcycles systematically, at least one every year, right off the line. To have something like this, you know, completely original paint, saved new in 1915 is incredible. We've got one of these for every year. The way we organize the museum here, we're on 2 floors. There's about 40,000 square feet of exhibits, and then we've got a 10,000 square foot temporary exhibit space. We use the motorcycles as a timeline. So starting from the very beginning, we've got bikes running on this floor to immediate kind of post-war, 1947, then we pick up downstairs 1948 and come to the present. We've got a series of these focus galleries here where we tell the history of the company, and more importantly, I think, you know, the history of kind of the culture that grew up around the company. So one of the things that's you'll see as you spend a little time here, we built the museum to bring more people into the sport. So we purposely created an experience that's relevant to the general public. And now that we've been open for 5 years and we've been kind of keeping track of who comes in, it runs annually about 20% of our visitors are Harley owners. So I think the assumption when we started building the place was that, you know, we were building this for the Harley enthusiasts, and we certainly did. And I think we've done a good job of energizing all of those people who kind of organize their lives around the sport. But we get a little over 50% of our visitors are not motorcycle riders at all. So just the general public who come in because they're interested in a beautiful industrial design or a great American success story or interesting business history. For a lot of the Harley-Davidson enthusiasts, you know, they've heard of this bike, which is the oldest bike in the collection. It's referred to as serial number 1. We kind of literally enshrined it here. Like I said, you know, we built the place to attract a general audience, and I know it's hard for some people to believe, but there's people in my family who, if I said, hey, come with me, this room is all about engines, they'd say, well, maybe I'll go down to this other one about clubs. So we wanted to do something that would draw people in, and the idea with this is, you know, you look at it, looks like a motorcycle, you realize there's something funny about the perspective, and you walk in to see what's going on, and before you know it, we've pulled you in. You know, this is the bike that when it was introduced in '36 kind of set a lot of the styling parameters that we live by today. you know, both just the basic proportions of the bike, you know, where we kind of frame everything around the beautiful engine, but the gas tanks, you know, this is the first bike we made with recirculating oil. So we've got the horseshoe oil tank and the skirted fenders, just the, as I said, kind of the proportions and the basic riding position. And, you know, what we do then here in the interpretation is point out that you can go out today and buy a Heritage Softail, and it's based on a lot of these ideas. You keep hearing these engines in the background. This is, we use interactives throughout the museum, and we happen to walk in here when there's nobody here. So what these things are doing is, when you, that one's about to start, if nobody's interacting with it, it kind of just does that. So the idea is to kind of get your attention. So for any of these, we don't have, unfortunately, have sounds for all the engines, but you know, you can look at that guy and get a sense of what it sounds like. As we do in other areas around the museum, you know, use this technology to give people a little more information. You learn about the engine, you can see some of the bikes that were powered by the engine, get a little historic context. So as we kind of head down the stairs on this kind of 1951 dealer window, we didn't do many kind of recreations, but we wanted to give people a sense of what all this stuff might have looked like. So here we track from, you know, the original S model up through the K and the first Sportster. So here we've got, again, you know, the motorcycle gallery, but examples of all the ways in which our customers have made the bikes their own. And then the last gallery deals with issues around how we conceive of, prototype, test, and manufacture bikes. Currently there's an exhibit that we did on our anniversary vehicles, and that'll be coming out in 3.5 weeks. And then we put in an exhibit on some exciting new products.